Welcome back to Soft English Studio. I'm Emma.
And I'm Ryan.
It's great to be here with you today. Ryan, I've been thinking about something lately. Do you think it's harder to make friends as an adult?
Honestly, yes, I think it is. When I was younger, I seemed to make friends without even trying.
I feel the same way. Back then, I was surrounded by people every day. School made it easy to meet others.
Exactly. We spent so much time together that friendships often happened naturally.
These days, things seem different. People are busy with work, family, and other responsibilities.
That's true. Even when I meet someone interesting, it can be difficult to find time to see them again.
I think that's one of the biggest differences. As adults, we have to be more intentional about friendships.
That's a good way to put it. We usually have to make plans instead of simply seeing people every day.
Have you ever felt lonely after moving somewhere new?
Yes, actually. A few years ago, I moved to a different city for work. I knew almost nobody there.
That must have been challenging.
It was. My coworkers were friendly, but it took time to build real friendships.
I can understand that. Being around people doesn't always mean feeling connected to them.
Exactly. Sometimes I had conversations all day, but I still felt like I didn't really know anyone well.
I think many adults can relate to that feeling.
I agree. It's probably more common than we realize.
When you were living in that new city, what helped you feel more connected?
At first, not much. I mostly focused on work. Looking back, I think that made things harder.
Why do you say that?
Because I kept waiting for friendships to happen on their own. I didn't make much effort to meet new people.
That's interesting. I think a lot of us expect friendships to develop naturally, just like they did when we were younger.
Exactly. But adult life doesn't always work that way.
So what changed for you?
I started saying yes to more invitations. Sometimes coworkers invited me to dinner or a weekend activity, and I decided to join them.
Did that make a difference?
It did. At first, it felt a little uncomfortable. I'm naturally a quiet person, so meeting new people wasn't always easy.
I know that feeling. Walking into a room where you don't know anyone can be stressful.
Definitely. But after a few experiences, I realized that many people felt exactly the same way.
That's something we often forget. We assume everyone else is confident and comfortable.
Right. In reality, many adults are also hoping to make new friends.
I think that's encouraging. It means we're not alone in feeling nervous.
Exactly. And sometimes one simple conversation can be the beginning of a meaningful friendship.
I like that idea. Maybe making friends as an adult isn't impossible. Maybe it just requires a little more patience and effort.
I completely agree. And I think that's where the real challenge begins.
You mentioned that making friends often requires more effort as an adult. Why do you think that is?
I think one reason is that our lives become more structured. We usually have routines, responsibilities, and less free time.
That's true. When we're younger, we often have more opportunities to meet people without planning anything.
Exactly. As adults, most social activities have to fit into our schedules.
Another challenge might be energy. After a long workday, some people just want to relax at home.
I can definitely relate to that. There have been times when I wanted to meet people, but I felt too tired to go out.
I've felt the same way. It's interesting because we might want stronger friendships, but we don't always have the energy to build them.
That's a good point. Sometimes the things we value most require effort when we're already busy.
Do you think technology has changed friendships too?
In some ways, yes. It's easier to stay in touch with people online, but that doesn't always create deeper connections.
I agree. Sending a message is convenient, but it's different from spending time together.
Exactly. Online communication can help maintain friendships, but it usually can't replace shared experiences.
Another thing I've noticed is that adults can be more cautious when meeting new people.
That's true. We often have past experiences that make us slower to trust others.
That doesn't mean we're unfriendly. We just take more time to open up.
I think that's a big part of it. Adult friendships often grow slowly, but they can become very meaningful over time.
Even with those challenges, it seems like some people make new friends more easily than others.
I think that's true. Some people naturally enjoy meeting new people, while others need more time to feel comfortable.
Do you think personality is the biggest factor?
Not necessarily. Personality matters, but habits matter too.
What do you mean?
I've met quiet people who have strong social lives because they regularly join activities and stay connected with others.
That's a good observation. So maybe friendship is more about consistent effort than confidence?
I think so. Confidence can help, but showing up regularly is often more important.
I like that idea. It makes friendship feel more practical and less mysterious.
Exactly. We sometimes imagine that friendships happen by chance, but many strong friendships grow from repeated interactions.
I've noticed that in hobby groups. People see each other every week, and over time they naturally become closer.
That's a great example. Shared interests can create opportunities for connection without putting too much pressure on anyone.
At the same time, I don't think there's one perfect way to make friends.
I agree. Some people meet friends through work, others through hobbies, volunteering, or even mutual friends.
What's important is finding an approach that feels comfortable and realistic.
Exactly. And I think that's encouraging because it means there are many different paths to building meaningful friendships as adults.
After everything we've talked about, I think making friends as an adult is less about luck and more about intention.
I agree. When we're younger, friendships often happen because we're in the same place every day. As adults, we usually have to create those opportunities ourselves.
That's a great way to describe it. We may not have as many chances to meet people, but we can still take small steps.
Exactly. We don't have to change our personalities. We just have to be open to new experiences and connections.
I also think it's important to be patient. Strong friendships rarely develop overnight.
That's true. Sometimes we meet someone several times before we start feeling comfortable around them.
And that's completely normal. We often expect instant results, but meaningful relationships usually take time.
I think that's one of the biggest lessons. Instead of focusing on making a lot of friends quickly, it may be better to focus on building a few genuine connections.
I like that perspective. A few close friends can have a huge impact on our lives.
Absolutely. They can provide support, encouragement, and a sense of belonging.
So maybe the goal isn't to become more social. Maybe it's simply to stay open and keep making an effort.
I couldn't agree more. Small conversations, shared activities, and regular contact can slowly grow into meaningful friendships.
That's a hopeful message.
It is, and I think it's a reminder that we're never too old to make new friends.
Before we finish, let's look at some useful vocabulary from today's conversation.
Sounds good. These expressions are very common when talking about friendships and social life.
Our first phrasal verb is open up. It means to share your thoughts or feelings more honestly with someone.
For example, you might say, "It took me a few months to open up to my new coworkers."
Native speakers often use this when talking about trust and emotional connection.
Our second phrasal verb is reach out. It means to contact someone or make the first move to connect.
An example could be, I decided to reach out to an old friend last week.
It's a very useful expression because friendships often begin when someone reaches out first.
Now let's look at a collocation. Make friends.
This simply means to form new friendships. For example, she found it easy to make friends after joining a local club.
Another common collocation is social circle.
A social circle is the group of people you regularly spend time with. You could say, most of my social circle lives in the same neighborhood.
These expressions fit perfectly with today's discussion.
They do, and they're useful for talking about real-life experiences and relationships.
Let's continue with two more useful expressions from today's topic.
Great! The first one is a very common expression. Put yourself out there.
This means making an effort to meet new people or try new social situations, even if it feels a little uncomfortable.
For example, you could say, I decided to put myself out there and join a local photography group.
Native speakers often use this expression when talking about stepping outside their comfort zone.
Exactly. It's especially common when discussing friendships, dating, or personal growth.
Now let's look at a soft slang expression, hang out.
This simply means spending time with someone in a relaxed and informal way.
For example, a few coworkers invited me to hang out after work.
Native speakers use this expression all the time because it sounds casual and friendly.
It's also useful because friendships often grow when people regularly hang out together.
That's true. Many strong friendships begin with simple activities like having coffee, taking a walk, or attending an event together.
So today we've learned 2 phrasal verbs, 2 collocations, 1 natural expression, and 1 everyday slang expression.
And all of them connect naturally to the idea of building friendships as an adult.
Before we say goodbye, let's briefly reflect on today's conversation.
We talked about how making friends as an adult can be challenging because life becomes busier and more structured.
We also discussed how friendships often require patience, effort, and a willingness to take small social risks.
Along the way, we learned some useful vocabulary.
We looked at the phrasal verbs open up and reach out.
We also learned the collocations make friends and social circle.
And finally, we explored the expression put yourself out there and the slang phrase hang out.
These are all expressions that native speakers commonly use in everyday conversations.
The most important message from today's discussion is that meaningful friendships usually take time to develop.
But with patience, openness, and consistent effort, new friendships are absolutely possible.
We hope you enjoyed spending this time with us.
Thank you for listening and learning with us today.
This has been Soft English Studio.
Take care, keep practicing, and we'll see you again soon.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.